Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this morning's morning meditation. We are looking at Ezekiel chapter 37, and I'm going to be reading from verse 1 down to about verse 14. But our specific question that I want us to look on is highlighted for you in verse 3 of this chapter. This is a very famous chapter in the book of Ezekiel, and I'm sure you're going to recognize it as we begin reading. So it begins in verse 1. The hand of the Lord was upon me, and carried me out in the spirit of the Lord, and set me down in the midst of a valley which was full of bones, and caused me to pass by them round about. And behold, there were very many in the open valley, and lo, they were very dry. And he said unto me, Son of man, can these bones live? And I answered, O Lord God, thou knowest. Again he said to me, Prophesy upon these bones, and say unto them, O ye dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord God unto these bones, Behold, I will cause breath to enter into you, and ye shall live. And I will lay sinews upon you, and will bring up flesh upon you, and cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and ye shall live, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. So I prophesied as I was commanded. And as I prophesied, there was a noise, and behold, a shaking, and the bones came together, bone to his bone. And when I beheld, lo, the sinews and the flesh came up upon them, and the skin covered them above, but there was no breath in them. Then said he unto me, Prophesy unto the wind. Prophesy, Son of man, and say to the wind, Thus saith the Lord God, Come from the four winds, O breath, and breathe upon these slain, that they may live. So I prophesied as he commanded me, and the breath came into them, and they lived, and they stood up upon their feet, an exceeding great army. Then he said unto me, Son of man, these bones are the whole house of Israel. Behold, they say, Our bones are dried, and our hope is lost, and we are cut off for our parts. Therefore prophesy, and say unto them, Thus saith the Lord God, Behold, O my people, I will open your graves, and cause you to come up out of your graves, and bring you into the land of Israel. And ye shall know that I am the Lord, when I have opened your graves, O my people, and brought you up out of your graves. And shall put my spirit in you, and ye shall live, and I shall place you in your own land. Then ye shall know that I, the Lord, have spoken it, and performed it, saith the Lord. This is a prophecy, as we can clearly see from the text of the verses, about the nation of Israel. And if you know anything about the history of Israel, you will know that they were carried away into captivity during the time that Ezekiel was prophesying, and that was a 70-year captivity in Babylon. They were allowed to then return to their homeland when the Medes and the Persians came to power. The proclamation was given, and Cyrus said that they could return into their land. But they were going to be exiled again in 70 A.D. after the Rome destroyed Jerusalem, and the Jews were scattered throughout all of the world and were kept from their homeland, their historic land that God had promised them, for just about 2,000 years. And it's during this massive exile that you can see the people of Israel saying, Our bones are dry, there is no hope. How could they ever be a nation again? But God did something amazing. He recreated them as a national entity after 2,000 years, which is unheard of and unparalleled in human history. If you want to study a great story, read about the reestablishment of Israel. It's amazing the many miraculous things that had to occur for that nation to become its own independent state again. Even up to our modern times, with Jerusalem being declared the capital, or the place where the U.S. Embassy would be, confirming Jerusalem as a possession of the nation of Israel to the world and as its capital. It is an amazing story. It can only come by the hand of God. God said, Can these bones live? They were very dry. They had no life. They had no hope. But God did something miraculous, because he's the God of life, and nothing is too hard for him. While we all will not undergo a national reclamation like Israel has, all of us have things in our life that need to be reclaimed, and we've all needed to be redeemed. We were all without hope. But God spoke into our lives and made us new again, just like he made that nation new again. And I want you never to lose hope, to remember the power of our God, the love of our God, and the compassion of our God. And that he can take what's dead and what has no possibility of life and turn it into something vibrant and blossoming and full of vigor. I'm sure there's things in your life that you think are too far gone, that are beyond hope. My encouragement to you is seek God about these things. Ask him to do the impossible. If it is according to his will, if it is going to be good for you, if it's going to be part of his eternal plan, God will do something miraculous. If you ask him to restore something that isn't in your best interest, then he won't do it because he's a loving father. But he will do many, many wonderful acts in your life that will amaze you and bring you to the point where what you believe is basically what the prophet believed here, that anything is possible with God. Can these bones live? He said, "Oh, Lord God, thou knowest." You can do it, Lord. You know the plan. You have the purpose. So don't lose hope. Look to God. Believe in him. And he will deliver. Have a great day, guys. Bye.